Well, I guess we'll get started with introducing ourselves. So you know us already, but I'm Tyler.
And I'm Gabriel.
If you want to introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. My name's Roberto. I've been in LA for about 9-10 years now, but originally from Tampa.
Tampa.
We actually love Tampa. We were there last fall, and it was my first time, I think. I loved it.
Yeah.
Cool city.
I think Tampa is a really great place to grow up.
Yeah.
And I loved Tampa growing up and whatnot.
I really liked growing up in Florida too. Like, I mean, we talk about it a lot with the guests that come here because it's obviously so different than it is in LA. But growing up there, especially at the time when I wasn't exposed to so many other communities, I really thought it was great being in Florida. I like the weather. Hurricane season meant we got, a few days off of school.
Well, you get no snow days, so you get hurricanes.
Yes, exactly. So, I think Florida is a great place to raise a family, especially if you're insulated with like a good community and because you can make your own community anywhere you're at.
I played a lot of sports, so a good thing about Florida is that you can play stuff year round.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Always playing stuff, going out on the lake, going out to the beach. So it's just really
Fun.
A place that kids can go out and do a lot of stuff.
For sure.
And that was before we had cell phones and everything.
Right.
So I guess there
The
was
good times.
Yeah, now I guess anywhere you just the kids sit and watch YouTube all day.
I was definitely an indoor kid too, but we still had, like our bikes that we would ride around until the streetlights came on, like go down to the park and feed the ducks, like those kind of like little things that all the kids were doing. I feel like kids aren't really able to have access to now. Not that it's not there, it's just not even a point of reference. Like, who wants to go feed ducks when you can play on your iPad?
I know. I feel like we became adults in the perfect timing because, we got to see early beginning of social media and such. And we spent our childhood on the street, literally.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in college, I remember having a cell phone, but I left my cell phone in my room when
it
I
wasn't
was
important at all. Yeah.
Now it's like, oh my God, where's my cell phone? You can't leave without having it with you.
No.
For sure.
It was like, I'll get to my phone later.
Yeah, it didn't seem like such an extension of a third appendage.
No, it was just,
And so you're Cuban as well, right?
Yeah, my father's side is Cuban, so
Nice.
half Cuban, half Slovakian.
Half Slovakian. That's a mix.
Yeah.
Do you have much like family culture that has like sort of played into your upbringing? Like for me, I mean, I'm super white, so I have like nothing. Like we didn't have any sort of like cultural reference of a different language or a different holiday.
Like I said, I'm half Cuban, half Slovakian, but really grew up in a Cuban type environment and Cuban family.
Sure.
So a couple things is very loud, can be intense, argumentative, but it's something that I had to kind of learn a little bit to not be so much, to not be so intense sometimes, especially in a relationship. But that is something that I could be yelling at my dad and then 2 seconds later be like, oh yeah, what do you want to do? It's fine. Like totally no hard feelings at all. It's just an intense debate or moment of something extreme.
Yeah.
But it is a very loving environment too, at least what I grew up in. I don't know of other Hispanic cultures, but definitely in the Cuban. Like I would not dare go to a party and not say hi to everybody and then not say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, like a hug and a kiss, like to everybody. So it's very different.
I'm Brazilian, so I can totally relate. In Brazil, when we meet someone new, we kiss on a cheek or like once or sometimes twice, depending where you're from in Brazil. So it's a very close relationship that we have, even with strangers or people around us. So it's very similar because I grew up around a lot of drama, but it always came from a place of love.
Have you been to Spain?
We have.
Okay, so in Spain you do 2 kisses on each side. And
there you go.
I'm very good at that. But I always think the funniest thing is whenever we're there, okay, you're saying hi to the Spanish guys, and that's very easy to do 2 kisses. But then you're going to do another American. Do you still do the 2 kisses?
Right. Oh my gosh.
Like, what do you do? You just kind of do that. You don't know.
That's the rule.
Because but when you start, if you just see somebody, you might not know if they're Spanish or American or Italian or whatever. So you just kind of just go with it when you're there.
So in high school, I assumed you played quite a bit of sports.
Yeah, I actually grew up playing baseball.
Okay.
I started when I was 4 years old, but I think I got a little bit burned out. I think there was a lot of pressure to do every league and AAU and practice and do all that. And my dad was a coach, so there was just a lot of pressure around that.
Yeah.
And if I could go back in time, man, I wish I had the mentality of let me be the best baseball player I could, because I probably had it. If I would have given it all, I was pretty good, but I just got burned out young. I stopped playing at 14 years old and I switched to football. To stay in shape my first 2 years in high school, I also wrestled in the off season, which it was good to learn because that's a really handy thing to know.
Physical.
Sure.
Yeah, because, you know, I know how to wrestle. I know how to box. I know how to do grappling, jiu-jitsu stuff. So to have a knowledge of all that stuff is really good.
Yeah.
Did you at that time know that you were different than everybody?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, I did know that, you know, in wrestling practice, there was one of my teammates that I always wanted to spar with. I mean, that was just something maybe in the back of my head. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together.
When did you start putting kind of those thoughts together more so?
Sophomore, junior year of college.
So it was later for you.
Yeah, later for me.
Yeah. Had you dated girls before?
Yeah, no, I dated girls in high school.
Did you have like what you would consider like a normal relationship with them? Because I never dated. I dated girls, but it was more like let's go to the mall.
Yeah.
I mean, as normal as you can have.
Sure.
In a high school,
right?
You would have never thought that I was.
For me, I had many girlfriends, but it was all for show because
so
I knew that was gay since I was 2.
I didn't know, so I was just dating a girl because I kind of liked. I mean, I did not like them. Yeah, it wasn't like I was. It wasn't a show for me. I think it was just. Well, that's what everybody's doing. This is kind of the what I should do.
I grew up in a very feminine household. My mom has a sister who has 2 daughters. I spent a lot of time with my grandmas. And so because the cousins were always at my grandma's as well, I was always surrounded by like female toys and female influence. And not that I think that made too much of a difference of like my personality or definitely not my sexual orientation, but I knew by like 5, I was like, oh, I really like a lot of feminine things. And not that means that I was gay, but it definitely opened my eyes to like, oh, I think I'm more similar to the girls that are in my family than the guys.
I probably had the opposite experience because I lived a very masculine life, and all of my close friends, I didn't even think I had a gay friend until I moved to LA.
Yeah. Wow.
All of my friends were straight guys from the football team, from the Army, and I was very much around them. And I think one good thing is that even when they did find out or I did come out to them, I still have always been the same person. I've never changed.
Yeah.
Other than I'll be a little more joking about stuff and they can take it and be funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think the masculinity or the femininity doesn't really
matter.
The sexuality of it.
There is a lot of controversy or idea that like if you grow up in a hyper-mask sort of environment and play lots of sports, that it'll lead you away from being homosexuality gay, and whatever that means. But you're our case study here. You've proven us wrong.
I don't think it really. I don't think.
Definitely not. Yeah.
I'm very similar to you because I also came out later. I actually didn't come out to my close friends. They're all straight. And I mean, they kind of knew because, especially my close friends, because they could tell, but I never came out to them even after moving here. I guess they saw our Instagram and they get these things together. But I never, had this conversation with them. But after visiting them like later in life, came back and we had one-on-one conversation. They say the same thing. You were the same person. You never changed. I wish I knew before. That's what they told me. I was like, I wasn't ready, right? I wasn't ready at that time.
He wasn't very sporty.
I wasn't, yes. So in Brazil, I wish we had more options when it comes to sports. We talked about this before, but we just have soccer. And if you play volleyball, you're gay.
I think soccer is the one. I've played everything except soccer.
It's very different, right? It's like it's basically your legs and your feet.
I don't like running, so I don't think I'd be really good at that.
I would have loved to do like more like dance or gymnastics. I was that kind of kid.
Yeah, I mean, but that's still great if you could have done that.
Yeah, I would have loved to do it. My mom was like, "You're gonna break your back." What she really was saying is, that's for girls. That's for girls.
Yeah.
But so you obviously had probably great high school experience, being able to be so active in sports.
I did have a great high school experience. Yeah.
That's good. And did you know you wanted to go military at that time?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to go to West Point since I was in 5th or 6th grade. Funny that first day is one of the worst days of your life there.
Uh-oh.
And I remember, just because it's so intense.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it was when I was 18 years old. I don't know if it would still be safe if I did it now.
Sure.
But I remember that first day or first night in bed, laying in bed saying, what the hell did I do? But also saying,
crazy.
There's no way I can go back because I've been telling people I was doing this since I was in 5th grade.
Sure.
If I go back to Tampa with my tail between my legs, I don't think I could live that. I don't think I could do that.
Was it a pretty cool class that do you recall? Like the people that you went to school with, were they pretty?
My closest friends in my grade, in my class, 2011, they're still some of my closest friends that we see each other all the time.
That's great.
At weddings, at reunions, at football games, just for random weekends.
Sure.
So still super close.
I feel like this is the best time to make friends and connections for a lifetime because you're not yet an adult, but you're not a kid. So you make strong connections at that time, and you're both in school, so you have the same goals.
Right.
And then you spend years fostering that relationship, and then later in life, you grow up. Maybe you move, you live in different state, different country, but you still have that same connection.
Yeah, and in going to West Point and being in the Army, you go through a lot of hardships together.
Yeah,
so that definitely brings you closer together. And then being in the Army, everybody lives all over. So when you're in the Army, you move to one base and you haven't seen this person in forever. And then in Afghanistan, I remember even running into classmates that I hadn't seen for a while. And just wherever you would go, you'd run into people. Yeah, so it's a really cool... Wherever you go, you know there's going to be people that you know somewhere.
Family.
Yeah, community.
Yeah. So, okay, you've spoken on your first, I assumed, was this your first deployment to Afghanistan?
I only had one deployment.
So
just the one,
So how did we get from West Point to Afghanistan?
It was actually exactly on my 1-year anniversary from graduation that I was on the plane there.
Wow.
So that just happened to be, it was the unit that I was going to. That was their scheduled deployment. It could have been 3 years later. It could have been 2 months later. It happened to be what it was. So I got to my unit in time to like train up and be with them before we went.
That's good.
I did like the advanced mission there. So I went before the whole unit did to kind of set some stuff up because I wasn't a platoon leader yet. So I was still on staff. 3 months after I had gotten to Afghanistan, then I took over my platoon and I was going on missions with them, taking them out to, do what we did.
What is a platoon? I know I'm an idiot, but
a platoon a platoon is just a smaller unit of soldiers. So like a normal infantry platoon is about 32 to 40 soldiers.
Gotcha.
The platoon leader is a second lieutenant, first lieutenant. That's what I was when I graduated. So you're in charge of that group.
Sure.
So in a multifunctional intelligence platoon, it's a lot smaller. So I had like 15.
Yeah.
So I wasn't an infantry platoon leader. So I had that. And then you have 4 platoons in a company, which is a company might be 120 people.
Wow, crazy.
So obviously, again, we've talked about you've had a sort of masculine influence growing up. You're a very masculine guy. I'm sure this is not a surprise to you. So when you're in the military setting, especially when you're in Afghanistan, did sexuality ever come up in conversation or like any sort of, did you ever feel like this is probably not a place I should talk about, or was your mindset more like, I'm not even thinking of this right now?
Well, I don't think sexuality was ever mentioned, but there was a point when I was a general's aide when just through normal conversation, I wasn't going to lie about it.
Right.
So it wasn't like, what's your sexuality? It was like, oh, you're going to over here. Are you seeing, like, you have a significant other?
Right.
Like, so I'm not going to lie.
Right.
So I was like, yeah. So fortunately for me, it was never an issue.
That's good.
Yeah. Not even once did I have an issue with anybody or anything in the military or...
My concept of time, I guess maybe it's a millennial thing. Like, I don't know when gay marriage got approved versus don't ask, don't tell. It's all so blurry. And I don't know if you feel the same way, or we've talked about before, we're like, it's crazy to think that these things are still relatively new.
When people talk about, well, why do you need to get married? Or why do you need to do this? Like, I'm just being an everyday normal citizen that wants to live the same privileges and rights that everybody else has.
Exactly.
And I'm not like openly talking about my sexuality in front of everybody, but around my closest friends, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah. Right.
I never had to censor or say anything differently in front of my close friends.
You're just yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
We get some interesting comments where people say, oh, why are you always talking about coming out stories and why do you feel like the need to come out? And I'm like, the point of sharing the coming out stories is so we get to a point where we don't have to come out anymore.
Like, you can just be like normal. And there's been many times when Trevor and I travel a lot.
Yeah.
And we meet a lot of people around the world. And I remember we met this a straight couple in Thailand in Koh Phi Phi.
Wow.
Around our age. We're just at the swim up bar and they're sitting there and we could just have a normal conversation and we never had to say,
we're a couple.
Well, I did be like, oh, we're married. Oh yeah, we're married. But it never was like, I'm gay. I'm just like telling them about
my relationship.
Just my relationship, just like anybody else would talk about.
Yeah.
You know, that happens all the time to us. Sometimes that happened before. We were in the Uber and we just got in the Uber and it was a lady. She goes, "Oh, you guys are brothers." And we're like, "No, we are partners." And she was like, "Oh, you guys are business partners." "No, we are partners."
Well, I mean, in a way.
Boyfriends, husbands, whatever you want to call it.
Really quiet in the car. And then
she starts talking about herself. She says that she was in love with the women in the past.
She goes, "I used to be a lesbian." We're like, "Oh."
"I understand you. I know how you feel," she said. And we're like, "Okay, so I guess you're not being judgmental. You're just, you want to tell your story."
She really wanted to make us feel at home there after the awkward
I have to tell you, I don't know. I'm one of those people. I do not want to talk to people in an
same.
Uber, especially when people have strong opinions. I like to just keep my mouth shut.
Because they do have strong opinions and they will talk about it. We usually do the quiet conversation, but
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The good thing is that a lot of times when we're going to the airport or something, I'm on a call or something. So
that's good.
It's very easy that I'm working. Like, sorry.
We'll pull out our laptops and do the same.
So that doesn't matter. They will still talk.
Yeah, they usually do that. But it's interesting. It's like the gym. It's like in an Uber, on an airplane. I'm not definitely feeling the conversation.
Okay, but listen.
Yes.
Normally I'm just like that, and Trevor knows this. Me with a few drinks at the hotel bar, I'm the Chatty Cathy.
Are you?
Making all new friends.
Yep.
In that environment, I'm like, let's go.
For sure. My problem is I'm usually like, I don't want to talk, and then someone starts talking to me.
He doesn't shut up.
And then it flips on, and I just can't turn it off. Before you know it, I'm the one talking to everybody. Yeah. So that's another reason I try to
He doesn't
avoid.
Need drinks, though.
I don't even need drinks. If it's a good conversation, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure, yeah.
So we are now leaving you in Afghanistan, but let's get you out of there. So you ended up leaving, you said, a year later. Were you ready to go? Were you like counting down the moments?
Oh, yeah, I was ready to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, none of my soldiers or anybody got injured or killed. So no issues with that.
Great leadership, obviously.
Yeah. And a lot of luck. But coming back, that was good. But also, remember, I've been in Afghanistan for a year, making my money and it's not federally taxed when you're in Afghanistan. So I have like all this money and I'm not spending any money.
Right, sure.
So I like come home, like before I even left, I was like, let me buy my first house. So I was able to come back from Afghanistan, move into my first house in Washington State. So now is the first time when I can like actually start seeing if I'm going to date or realize that whole thing. So I think that coming back, it was almost like a new me. And also, I will say this, probably since I was 20, one of the reasons I did have to lose some weight is because I drank way too much. So I think
20s.
20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
Those were bad drinking days. Like, I have a funny story about that. Well, I'll come back to it.
Yeah, please do.
But so drank so much. Obviously, in a war zone, there's no drinking.
Yeah.
So that was like a hard reset for me to have no alcohol, a bunch of money, buy a new house, best shape of my life, confident that I'm a good leader.
Right.
I was a successful platoon leader. So I think it was kind of like a rebirth of me there. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really good for me coming back for that.
Yeah.
But back to my drinking.
Yeah, let's get there.
Okay.
Was this in Tampa? Wait, 20.
No, this
is West Point. Right. Okay, gotcha.
So you are allowed to drink at West Point if you are a junior or a senior and you're 21.
That makes sense.
Fortunately for me, I was really good at school. So I got all my work done. I'd be like, okay, we're done with dinner. Let's go. Let's go to Taco Tuesday. Went to Taco Tuesday, and the pitcher of Bud Light is $7.25, right? So you get a pitcher of Bud Light, and everybody just gets their own, and you just drink out of it.
I mean, why not?
That was me like almost every night. So
amazing.
Figure why I needed to lose weight.
Wow.
But so do all that, come back to my room. You have to, on school nights, you have to be back by 11:30. So
gotcha.
So you like start drinking at 6 or 7, but you're hammered.
Come back.
Right. My roommate had a really important, he was like a chemical engineering guy, so he had to study a lot more than I did. And he was up late studying. And I go to bed and I remember, I had to get up to go to the bathroom, and that's all I remember. I woke up the next day like really head hurting and all that. And my roommate is there and he's just laughing at me. And he goes, you peed under your desk last night. I said, no. I said, you're messing with me.
You didn't even remember.
It's like, go look. And I look, and I'm like,
There's
my goodness.
Yeah.
And I do remember getting up to go to the bathroom. He said I was going to the bathroom. He said, Roberto, what are you doing? He said, I got startled, and then I went to the bathroom. So, I mean, that was probably like a little bit of a wake-up call. I'm sure a lot of college kids have similar stories.
I have the same story.
I wasn't drinking, though. I was dreaming that I was peeing, and then I pee in bed.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, that happens too. So.
And I woke up after feeling the hot.
At least it was under my desk.
Right. Oh my God. For real. I actually was dating a guy. I was probably just turned 21 in Jacksonville, and we used to throw these big bonfires. He had some property, and we would get super trashed. Well, I was in this phase of every weekend we'd get annihilated, and I would wake up in the middle of the night and pee on one of his pieces of furniture.
Wow.
And he would yell at me you're peeing, and I would just keep peeing, go back to bed. And so that's when I also realized maybe I'm drinking too much.
I drink today occasionally, and I'll be lying if I say there wasn't a couple of times where I probably drank a little bit too much, mostly on vacation.
Sure.
But never to that level.
Yeah.
So that's good. Everything in moderation.
Exactly.
I can't even drink anymore, to be honest with you. If I drink now, it is
a couple of drinks maximum.
No, not even. I will need IV fluids the next day for sure. But THC does the body good.
That does
me.
it good. I mean, luckily I'm a lightweight, so I have a couple cocktails, and that's about all I need anyway.
When you moved to Washington, you were mission accomplished.
And I just kind of started actually going on dates, and it was really weird for me because I think because I wasn't really emotionally invested in girls, in women.
Okay, gotcha.
I could easily talk to girls in high school or women, even when I was still in college or whatever. It was very easy because I guess there was no stakes for me. It was just I'm just almost acting. I'm just being whatever.
Yeah.
Going to a gay bar, going to that with that.
Totally new.
I was I couldn't talk to guys. I was just
nervous.
So nervous.
Yeah.
I think those years were definitely what should have been high school years.
Yeah. Learning.
So I'm almost like a high school kid, talking to a girl. Although it was ironic because in high school I could easily talk to girls, no problem.
Right.
But it's now I'm talking, and there's stakes and emotional stakes.
For sure.
So there was, a little bit of growing up that I had to do, and then I had my first relationship. I learned a lot from that. It didn't go so well, but I learned a lot. I grew, and I met Trevor after Washington. I went back. I had to go back to Arizona, and then I went to El Paso for my last station, and we met my whole last year in the Army. So he got a little taste of the Army.
Wow. It's interesting too because I have come across, especially working in men's health, gay men in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s who are just coming out, and we all experience that same thing where we're having to introduce this concept of being a butterfly in the chest, nervous little school kid.
When you come out and you have that first relationship later in your life, if you're in high school and you fall in love, you kind of feel what that is, but it's not really that you're in love. You just but if you have that feeling later on in life because it's your first relationship, you're more in love with the idea of being in love and maybe settling for things that aren't in your best interest, or putting up with things if one person is more experienced in that or not, or you just really want to make something work at all costs versus doing what's best for you and that person. And
I feel like you're very vulnerable too, because especially for me, my first relationship was very toxic, so I felt very, vulnerable. I think that's the word, because he already had experience with other relationships, but I had none. So certain things I thought it was normal, but it just wasn't. It's not normal.
The first guy I dated, I had just turned 18 and he was 29, so quite a big age difference. And just trying to learn life at his pace was good and bad. But example, you feel in some ways inexperienced or vulnerable, but I think in any relationship when there's going to be that sort of difference in dynamic. But then I also fast forward it to guys like I mentioned who I come across that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, And like you mentioned, they feel like they're behind, right? So one of the best parts of being in a relationship is the falling in love part. Like that's the most fun, right? You want to romanticize, you want to feel all of those feelings, but when you're putting pressure on yourself because you feel behind and you're like trying to catch up with something, and it can make a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, if you're trying to make something happen versus letting it happen. I mean, this is a straight world too, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But there's a lot of what's the next best shiny thing. And yes, you love somebody, but there's also like a choosing to love somebody and put them first and do that. It's about sacrifice, and it's about you can't have everything.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that want everything.
I have been following you for a long time, so I saw a lot of your military posts. Kind of reminded me of like my medical posts that I would make. So how did you kind of get into social media?
I really didn't like social media, and I like to share what I'm doing, but I don't like it if it's like a job.
Yeah.
I like to just enjoy what I'm doing.
For sure.
But I think that I got into social media because my first boyfriend was kind of had a little bit of following. It's like, you need to have social media. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So create one. But it was, if you ask Trevor, he's like, it was so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Just because I didn't know how to post or what to do. I was like, so Trevor kind of helped me, like, you should do this. And where he like, I remember one of the first things we did on our first date was he took me to the mall and bought me all new clothes. He's like, can't wear this.
Hey, he was getting you ready.
For another day. Like, I was very like straight Army, like, wow, no fashion sense at all.
There you go.
You know, he kind of helped me with that. And then I was competing in men's physique competitions, so I had stuff to post because it was like about my training and about my fitness and then about the military stuff. And I think that just back when you were posting on Instagram and it was chronological, just I post a lot and there's a lot of stuff, so I just grew and did that. And today I really just enjoy doing my travels a lot. I'm more probably of a travel poster.
I love it.
I still do some fitness stuff, lifestyle. I like to share the cool different locations and what to do and do all that.
It's good. Have you had any like bad experiences with social media?
I think there is a lot of pressure that people want you to be what they think you are.
Yep.
I love meeting people. I love going on that, but a lot of people think that they know everything about you.
Right.
It's like,
are they your friend?
Yeah.
Or like you owe them something when you see them in person, maybe like, I know you, and you're like, I don't.
No,
that's just
I
a percentage.
and meet people,
Me
and
too.
I mean, I get the same way.
Yeah.
If I see somebody, I'm like, oh,
right.
I know that person. Oh no, I'm not like I know them, but I don't know them.
Right. Yes, I totally.
I'm the same way, so I can't like.
We all are, right?
It's just social media.
Yeah, but in general, I think overall, it's been a big positive. I mean, we met on social media as well, so. Hopefully, it keeps being positive. But like you mentioned, and all the guests that we have come on the podcast, we always say, like, you know, comments are crazy. We try not to let it get to us. But I think when you're used to it, like we probably are, it's like you don't have to deal with it. But sometimes if you haven't had to deal with it, it can be overwhelming because they're just trying to get a rise out of you and get you to give them some attention.
That's why I just block.
Yeah, and there's nothing new
I don't
that they haven't said
I just
yet.
block. I don't even remember.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of social media, where can people find you? I know you have a fitness app as well, and since you know how to cut and bulk and do everything in between.
I mean, everything is on
we'll tag you.
At RJ Portales on everything, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on whatever you can think of.
Very cool.
There are hundreds and hundreds of fake profiles of me. That is a very big issue and problem. So anybody out there, I promise you.
So you're not asking them for
$5,000? I didn't propose to you
or your
60-year-old woman out there. I'm not leaving Trevor straight now. Whatever. I always say this. If you meet somebody on social media and you are iffy about them, FaceTime. If they can't FaceTime, block them and get away from that immediately.
Exactly. But some people like the pretend.
I guess if you want to pretend. If somebody is like, hey, like I've been talking to this person, like I don't mind saying, hey, it's not me.
Right.
Don't talk to anybody using my photos or name or give them any money.
Yep.
And I don't mind doing that. Where I get a little bit upset is when they say that I'm lying to them, that I'm actually scamming them or pulling them along. I'm like, I should have never even.
Right.
Like, luckily, a lot of people are like, okay, thank you. Right. I just needed that last little push to know that it's not you.
Wow.
or your name isn't Rodolfo Gonzalez.
Right.
Like, do you also go by Rodolfo Gonzalez? No.
It's one name.
Yeah.
But there's a mental health crisis going on, so you just never know who you're talking to.
Exactly. Especially on social media.
But speaking of which, hopefully we can tempt you to get Trevor to come talk to us sometime.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Trevor, I mean, he's an outgoing guy, but he's a little bit shy.
Like, it's a lot to take in.
I'm a little shy too, but
maybe you can give him a good experience how it went today.
Yeah, I'll let him know.
But thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we have you back.
Of course.